All right. First item on our agenda this evening is to address the consent agenda.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Next item this evening is to consider the financial report through June 30, 2026. Daniela?
We do have a quarter one, quarter two financial report. I'm actually going to invite Ben from Baker Tilly to give you some highlights of the report. You do have a quick memo of some of those highlights, but I'll let him kind of touch on what the new financial report looks like and what it says.
Yeah, thank you. Ben Hart with Baker Tilly. I've got some information from Rebecca, and we used what Donna had put together to kind of lay a foundation for what you've seen before. On top of that, we put a dashboard, and what that dashboard does is just give the reader a glimpse of some of the bigger revenues that the city counts on for operations. Obviously, property tax is one of them. Sales tax is another. There's a number of those different that's got a chart in there, and what it does is show you month to month, but it also shows you year to date. Where's the city at collecting sales tax, and where's the city at collecting property tax? The utility funds are in there as well. In the narrative, we tried to write it to where it would be generally understood, and hopefully it expands a little bit of what you have seen before, just a little bit further. And if Daniela and Rebecca let us keep doing it, that's what we're going to keep doing it until we get a finance director. But overall, I can tell you that the city's in a sound financial position. Your fund balances are good. Your cash balances are really good. And I'm really speaking from an investor standpoint, since the municipal advisor, as a municipal advisor, we look at your debt and your financial position through that lens of an investor. If there's somebody that would want to buy bonds because of the way the city of Newton runs, management obviously is a big part of that. You are a big part of that as a policymaking body, and the decisions you make are a big part of that structure. But because of those policies and because of the decisions you've made throughout the last few years, for that matter, your sound financial position mid-year through the year. We look at several funds. General fund is the biggest, and general fund, for those that you don't know, is the main operating fund. That's where the police, fire, some of the public works are, parks sometimes are in there. But that's usually really the one that, that's obviously the count on property tax and sales tax the most, your general revenues. And as such, your departments have spent under 50% so far during the year. We're 50% through the year with this report as of June 30. All of your departments except for, I think, one, and that's just at 50% for that matter, have spent under their budget. So that kind of gives you a good measure of what that pace looks like. It usually is telling for the end of the year, depending on the nature of the expense. If you get debt service, obviously that's going to be a one-time expense. If there's capital that come through, that's going to be a one-time expense. But most of the time, the operations are monthly, right through the end of the year. But overall, that general fund looks really good. Your water and sewer also look good. They're better than expectations. Golf course is right now operating at a $200,000 surplus. And it's doing fantastic. The Meridian Center has got a $55,000 or a small surplus, but a $55,000 cash balance. And the airport right now is operating just at the end of June at a $79,000 surplus. Just a caveat, this is June, so there's 6 more months to go through, and as you know, seasons can do pretty much anything to a utility. But right now, the financial position of those utilities are better than what it was in 25 and 24. So that's kind of, when I was looking at the financials, that's what that drew my eyes to that document. be happy to answer any questions, or if you've got anything else you want to see in that document, we're happy to add it.
Any questions?
It all looks very good. Thank you.
I like the way it's presented. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for putting that memo with it.
Yeah.
All righty. Do we need to receive that or anything? No? All right.
You know, that would actually be great.
Okay.
That would be great.
I move that we receive this report.
We have, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Next item this evening is the presentation of the Yard of the Year Award to Alan and Dana Cox. Ed?
Sure, thank you, Commission. So this year, like many other years we've done for quite a while, we annually solicit nominations for Residential Yard of the Year. This award recognizes homeowners who contribute to the beauty and the character of Newton through exceptional landscaping. We had 17 nominations this year. Staff narrowed that down to 8 properties. Of those 8 properties, the one that rose to the top was Alan and Dana Cox's yard at 527 West 7th Street. Over the past 20 years, they have thoughtfully transformed and maintained their property, creating a landscape that blends colorful annuals and hardy perennials with productive garden featuring vegetables, herbs, and a pawpaw tree. Irrigated by a well, the landscape provides year-round beauty, supports local wildlife, and enhances the Sand Creek Bike Path corridor. With this award, there'll be a sign that they get bragging rights for the next year that they can put in their yard as Yard of the Year in Newton, and a $50 gift certificate from Stutzman's. So congratulations.
Congratulations.
Should we call them?
We can take a photo of it.
You get a free sign that you got to mow around.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your peppers look amazing.
Yeah, those look good. Everything looks healthy.
Yes.
Oh, if you're nice to them and talk to them, they'll give you a pawpaw when you walk by.
Oh, but they will? Oh, okay.
What is a pawpaw?
It's the only native tropical fruit to North America. It's like
Oh.
it's long. Indiana had lots of them. It's like a custardy, banana-y.
You're not selling it. Okay.
I'll try it.
No,
All right. Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All righty. The next item this evening is to consider the Land and Water Conservation Fund grant application request for Themian Park phases 2 and 3, and approve all documents. Daniela?
Yeah. Do we have an introduction of the, do you want to?
number 6.
It's not on here, but we'll go. We have an introduction of the Newton Housing Authority Chair Greg Yutzy and Vice Chair Peter Miller.
Yes, thank you.
You guys want to come on up?
Well, there's 5 of us, but only 3 could make it here today. So I'm Greg Yutzy. I'm the chair. Peter Miller is the vice chair. Amber Kane is on the board. Cindy Simons, I think she said most of you know her. She was not able to make it. She's got another meeting tonight. And Kay Silf is resident board member. So
Good board.
we've had, in a short period of time, 4 meetings already. It's like drinking from a fire hose.
Oh, yeah.
We're here to take care of business as well as we can. I mean, it's kind of came in a difficult time at the beginning because this is the end of the year. So
Right.
they're doing the end of the fiscal year. So they've been dealing with, our executive director's been dealing with that, and we have been dealing with that. So we're here to do what needs to be done.
I want to say, yeah, thank you for stepping up. The community runs on a whole lot of volunteers, and your service is greatly appreciated. I will, on behalf of the city, lean on our staff. If you guys need to stay in compliance with the things that you need to stay in compliance with.
That's the plan. We need
But
to
lean on our staff. If you need support resources, just reach out.
appreciate that. We need a lot of help.
Yeah, no,
just
that's what
wanna-
we're here for. We want a healthy community, and you guys are part of it.
Yeah,
I want to let you know that I appreciate your agendas. They show, to me, I value them. They show a lot of investment. You guys ask some very good questions. And to me, that shows that you're invested in this as a board and trying to make the improvements that need to be made. So I really appreciate your time that you're putting into all of this. I know it's hard, and like Rich says, we're here for you. Whatever questions or needs you have, just reach out.
Thank you.
I just wanted to add one thing as background for all of this. Nationally, HUD is predicting that they will be paying out about 15% less this year than they did last year. So as much as we can share costs with the city, we are looking to do that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Repeat. Danielle is going to take us through a Land Water Conservation Fund agenda item.
Okay. We also have, I don't know if, I know Crystal's here. There you are. Thanks, Crystal. Crystal Hennon with Ranson Financial is here. I'll kick off the memo, and then I might defer to her for any questions you may have. So the City of Newton, in partnership with the Railroad Foundation, USD 373, and the Newton Rec Commission, we've been working with Crystal and Rosemary at Ranson in putting together a plan for Themian Park. That includes a conceptual design, the architectural report, and the estimates for the grant applications that we've submitted and that we plan to submit in the future. The overall project, just to remind you, it was split up into 3 phases. In February of 2026, the project that was brought before you was a community development block grant for phase 1. And phase 1 was an estimated $800,000, and CDBG required a 20% match. You all approved that grant application, and so Ranson submitted that application, and as of today, we have not heard, but we refresh daily to see if Department of Commerce gives us an answer, hopefully very soon. Since that meeting, we have met, the Railroad Foundation, the city administrative team, and Ranson have met monthly to check in and see if there's any grant opportunities for the next phases, and just see if there's any news from the Department of Commerce. So that effort has paid off. Ranson has shared with us a grant opportunity that could potentially fund phase 2 and phase 3. It's called the Land and Water Conservation Fund grant application. It's a federal program administered by Department of Wildlife and Parks, and it includes an opportunity to request funding for the acquisition and the development of public outdoor recreation areas and facilities. So it does require a dollar-for-dollar match. The good thing is that if we receive CDBG funding, we can use that as part of our match. So it's a great opportunity for us to stack this application. Little caveat: the application is due July 31st, of course. I mean, but good news is that the application, because we submitted for CDBG, and CDBG requires a lot of information, we already have a lot of that right now. So it's really a matter of Ranson being hired and saying, all right, this is what we need to submit. And I might ask Crystal, if that's okay, Mayor, if you want to come up and maybe explain where we're at and your role in this process, because this is kind of your baby.
Hi, Crystal Hennon, Ranson Financial. So I will be, thanks Denise, I will be the grant writer for this application. So right now, I am in the middle of answering all the questions, checking all the boxes. Staff has advised me to keep working until we've had this meeting, so here I am tonight. Basically, what we're looking for tonight is your approval to submit the application and have the mayor and staff sign and seal any documents that go with the application. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have about this. We did write up a little memo that kind of gave you a little information about how the breakdown is going to work out. We have spoken to CDBG face-to-face. They won't have any announcements for the next couple weeks because Lieutenant Governor is in Paris. So when he comes back, they're going to have him sign announcements, and but we cannot make any announcements yet, if you catch my drift. That's basically what they told us. So fingers crossed, and everything sounds extremely positive for us to be able to get that award. So we're banking on that award. Now, for the LWCF, once we submit this application, then they will review them with their board. They will come out and do site visits if they like our application. Once they determine who they approve, who meets all their qualifications, they will take the list of them and their requested funds to the federal level. At that point, their federal level board will go through our application and come back and give us an award. So we won't find out about this one, I'm going to say October, November-ish, because there's a lot of steps where it goes from state to federal level. But the great thing is they love to see collaboration. They love to see us matching with other dollars and donations from other people. So right now, our total project cost is the $1,725,782. So we have already requested from CDBG $507,934. The city has said that they will put in $160,046. The Rec Commission at $105,000. The Railer Foundation at $100,000. So we will request from the LWCF $852,803. I did double check, and that is just a little bit below what our dollar for dollar match will be, but that's just the remaining to ask for phases 2 and 3.
Do we have, not that this is going to steer me in any other different direction, but just curious, are there application fees when we apply for these grants?
No, just grant writing fees.
Just grant writing fees, okay.
And something I'd like to just note, because I know this came up during the CDBG grant application process, is that the financial implications for the city have not changed.
Right.
That $160,000 is in-kind labor and materials, which are the same ones that we applied for CDBG. We're just able kind of to use this, we're able to use this story over and over for these grant applications, which are our benefit, because this is the allocation that we have set aside. Yeah.
And we're going to try and use some of the materials on hand that we have for like that crushed rock and stuff like that as well. So it's not a full in-kind, but it's close.
Sure.
I move that we approve to submit the grant and allow.
I'll second that motion.
Awesome. We have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you. Hopefully you'll see me with awards in hand.
Nice.
Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you, Crystal. Does she need anything from me tonight? Is it blue? No. No, gotta be blue. I have blue.
It's got to be blue.
It's a thing.
I was going to ask. What was up with that?
All righty, now that we've learned a lot about Rich tonight.
Right.
The next item this evening is to consider approval of the 2030 Airport CIP.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll kick this off, and then I'll tag team with Brian. He can give you a little bit of info as needed as well. So I know that we've gone over the background of this CIP, but just to remind you and for our residents watching and everyone in this room, in August of 2018, the city and the county held a joint meeting to review airport maintenance projects. At that time, we didn't have a comprehensive CIP, but there was a request to put together a plan so that staff could move that forward year to year and not necessarily have to bring everything forward. At the time, it was decided that the commission was not in favor of that, but in April of 2021, the city and the county commissions formally approved and funded the Airport CIP that was good from 2022 to 2026. So now that we are in the middle of 2026, and we're wrapping up the last few projects on that CIP, it's time to update the plan. So what we have before you is a bit of a shift for 2026 and the 2027 to 2030 CIP projects. The projects in the CIP are scheduled for implementation in their designated year. Any proposed changes to that plan will come forward to you. The CIP was presented to the Aviation Commission and on July 20th, and they approved as a recommendation the city and county CIP minus the AIP projects and some grant-funded projects. Really, it's just the operating CIP. Staff is okay with that. We're going to bring those items to you anyway. So the total estimated cost for these projects is $686,600. Typically, the projects are funded through city's bond and interest fund. So when you saw that bond and interest fund, these numbers would be reflected in that. Or I say that. Is the bond and interest fund that we reviewed today, did that reflect an updated CIP? Probably not.
No, not for the airport CIP. If there are, I think there are just a couple of items that were updated since that point in time but with the airport especially, I would say it's 98%
Got it.
there.
Okay.
And 686, 600 is the city's portion, the county's portion is the same, right?
Correct.
Right.
Correct. I'll let Brian speak to it a little. I don't know if there's anything you'd like to say, Brian?
No, I think you covered it pretty well. Obviously, the CIP plan, my staff, maintenance staff, goes through all the buildings that we own out there, and we take a list, and our list is about 250 deep on things that need to be repaired or updated. These buildings average age of the buildings that we own out there is about 25 years old. So as you can imagine, they are considerably maintenance heavy. And so we're doing everything we can. Now, most of the projects we handle out of airport revenue. But there are some projects like hangar doors and roofs and things of that nature that just cannot be handled out of airport revenue. So, because those are large ticket item projects, and we've identified most of those on our CIP. So this program allows us to do that and take care of those without, trying to save up and make that happen sooner rather than later. It allows us to do them sooner rather than later, so that our tenants can have a nice place to work and will continue to pay their rent and do things like that. So that's kind of what this plan is for. Obviously, these projects are all projects that would not be funded. As Danielle alluded to, they would not be funded from a federal AIP program or a state AIP program. Those are other, and they are listed on there, but those are the ones that the county has asked us specifically to exclude just because they didn't want to give blanket approval to those. We would never do that anyway. We would come to you for those projects as well. But anyway,
Which
so
ones were those?
what's that?
Yellow?
I don't have the document in front of me, but
They were projects that qualify for AIP funding. I don't know if you remember some of those.
there was a fuel farm, a new fuel farm, a new ramp, a terminal ramp, reconstruction taxiway Charlie, those types of things. Those are typically the federal projects or state projects that we get grant funding for. There may be a local match for those, but it certainly wouldn't be the entire bill. It would be a 10% match versus, You know, so a $5 million taxiway project would cost the city and the county $500,000. You know, that would be the program. So, but that's through federal funding, AIP funding. That's what that is. These are all things that would not qualify under those.
Would you
programs.
just refresh my memory what the acronym AIP?
I'm sorry, it's Airport Improvement Program.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a federal program, comes out of the Airport Trust Fund. We get entitlement funding every year for that.
Okay.
It's a small number, but we do get entitlement funding for that.
And generally, the FAA, correct me if I'm wrong, they call you, say, hey, we have this amount of funds. Do you have a project that qualifies for that? And then we,
Sort of. So what we do is we actually, every year, we submit an AIP programming formula to the FAA. I bring that to you. Usually it's in second meeting in January, first meeting in February, just to say, hey, these are the projects the airport's looking at. We get engineer assessments on those to see how much they'll cost, and then we submit them. And then randomly the FAA will call us and say, hey, we think this is a good year for this project. And so then once they call me and say, we think we can fund, you know, runway 826 reconstruction, let's use the last one we did, then I would come to you and say, okay, we've projected this to be a $5.5 million project. They're willing to fund it to 90%. Is this something we want to undertake? And at that point, you all decide, can we do the 500,000 or the 250,000 or whatever is required as the local match moving forward on those projects? Of course, this is all different from that. So,
Okay, yeah, got it.
Any other question?
So this, this approximate amount under the financial implications is for those 4 years? Or is it per year?
no, those would be over the 4 years of the 5 years of the program. Yes, yes.
And the county has already approved?
The county has not yet approved. We haven't brought this to the county yet.
Okay.
The Aviation Advisory Board, who obviously has county members that sit on that board just as we do, they were part of the recommendation to this body as well as their own body. And so we believe they will approve it. It's just, we have not taken it in front of them yet. You were first on the list.
A timing thing.
Yeah.
I move that we approve the city and county airport CPI. Recommend the Aviation Commission, recommended by the Aviation Commission.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Next item this evening is to consider a resolution authorizing certain road improvements within the city with a bid opening date of August 25th, 2026. Ed?
Thank you, Commissioners. So the 2026 road rehab project includes multiple roads throughout the city that have been on our capital improvement plan for a number of years. We base the need for this improvements on these roads on a PCI, which is a pavement index ranking, pavement condition index ranking. If you think of a brand new road as being 100, then as you start wearing and the life of the road and it starts falling off, when you get below 20 for a number of blocks, it's at the point where it's a full reconstruction. So we don't like to get that low, so we try to do as much as we can to keep the roads in the best shape that we can with what we have, but it finally gets to the point where they do need to have kind of a bigger maintenance item done to them, which is a mill and an overlay with some full depth patching. The roads on this list include Broadway, East Broadway from Main to Walnut, the East 12th Street from Pine to Spencer, North Spencer from Broadway to North City limits, and West 1st Street from Meridian to Fairview. And the PCI score on all these ranged from 19 to 76. So all of them are in pretty serious need for some rework. If you approve this evening, we would put this out to bid to have a bid letting to receive bids on August 25th, This project would be, the approximate cost of the project is a little over $2.2 million. $250,000 of that would be paid for out of reserves. The rest of that would be bonded, and the payments would come from the general interest, bonded interest. So we would just request and ask that you would approve the projects and plans and set a bid date of August 25th.
Okay. I move
I second.
that.
We have a
Not going to
motion
repeat it, Ed.
and a second, right? All righty. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign.
Would you like to include the resolution
Sure.
for that? Oh, okay. Thank you.
And that number for the record is?
It is I-1226.
Awesome. All righty. Next item this evening is to review bids and award contract for water tower painting project. Ed?
Yes, thank you. We received bids and opened bids on June 25th here at City Hall. We had 6 contractors submit bids, with the low bid being $786,875. This project's going to be paid for through the state revolving loan fund. The loan payments will be made from the water utility revenues. And we just ask that you would approve and award the project to the lowest responsible bidder, Kimmery Painting, for $786,875.
I move that we award the project to the lowest responsible bidder.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Next item is to consider a resolution allowing Moxies to expand their licensed premises for the sale and consumption of alcohol liquor on August 11th. Denise?
Okay, so they do not have to apply for a temporary alcohol permit for this because they're just expanding their premise from where they are. There's a map on there to show you where the extension is happening, so it's all that stuff in the blue over there. They are having a concert, and they went on the August 11th, and they're wanting to be able to have everybody mingle around out there. So I would recommend approval of this.
You have a resolution number?
I do. Hang on just a second. I did. It is G1385.
I just thought it was going to be an I.
I move we approve G1385.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Denise. Next item this evening is to consider an agreement with Shield AI for the construction and lease of a new hangar at the Newton City County Airport.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. And this agenda item was a placeholder. We anticipated potentially having an agreement for you to consider. We're not at that point yet. And although you wouldn't be considering formal action tonight, city staff did want to give you a short overview of the project. We put some bullet points in the agenda packet. I'll lean on city staff and Beth Shelton, who's here, to jump in for anything I'd miss. But essentially, the main points of the agreement that we would anticipate bringing back to you would be a 30,000 square foot hangar that would be constructed by the city to be located on the east side of the airport. I don't know, do we have another photo map that you can show?
There's 2.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This doesn't show the runway, but obviously it would run north-south. This shows the existing Shield AI lease footprint. This would be an expansion of an additional 10 acres of land and this 30,000 square foot hangar. We're looking at an initial lease term of 7 years. It would be built by the city. It'd be a city asset that could be either extended to Shield or used for other entities when their stay would be completed. the main benefits, obviously the economic development benefits, increase to airport business, and that expansion to the east side, which is undeveloped. Can you go to the other map? So obviously the development is mainly on the west side of the runway. This would open up that east side. There would be some costs, obviously, in extending utilities, but it would unlock future expansion. I would lean on Beth or Brian or city staff to add any comments about this. Staff's working on drafts. We hope to have something in the next couple of meetings, but since we have this as a placeholder, we thought we would try to give you a preview of what's coming in the next few weeks.
Okay. Brian, anything?
I would love for Beth to come up here and maybe talk about how the
We've
process
said
is
your name
going.
3 times like
Beth, I'm
Beetlejuice,
sorry,
so
I don't
you're
mean to
gonna
put
have
you
to
in
get
the
up
hot
here.
seat.
No, it's great.
Okay.
Good evening. Thank you. Yeah, so hangar development throughout the state has been an initiative that Commerce has been working on for the past several years, and getting larger hangars throughout the state. The state just had one in Salina and another one in Manhattan this past year. So this is in line with efforts that are already in place. The EDC for a long time have been at our board meetings. We've been talking about trying to open up that other side of the runway. For a long time, we had such a strong asset with our rail served land, and that's all developing. And then what our next step could be is possibly the runway served land. And our location to the Wichita aviation community, the OEMs, the suppliers, that whole ecosystem, having this hangar just strengthens our play within that. Aviation jobs typically are above the median wage for the area, so that helps bring in, high-paying jobs for the community. We're really excited about this because it brings a hangar that's an asset. We have a lot of great assets out at the airport. I just got back from the air show, and it's so exciting to see all the things that are happening there, how they're changing the way planes can take off on 150 feet now. Our airport runway is 7,000 feet, which is amazing for a community our size. We can land pretty much anything we want to, but now having this new technology with the vertical takeoff and landing, I think it does give us an even stronger play out at our airport. So I'm just really excited about this opportunity. Shield AI is an amazing company. They were at their show too. Other states are really, really trying hard to win that investment, and so it's exciting to have them here in Newton already and being part of that testing that they're doing here. So I just appreciate you considering doing this.
I saved the best for last. I'd love for Brian to talk a little bit about
Mr. Brian Palmer.
to talk a little bit about his the work behind the scenes that he's been working on, because I know that this has been a concerted effort of staff, of the development team, of Beth's team, of commissioners, and I know that it's not finalized by any mean, but I'd like to give a shout out to Brian and maybe him speak a little bit about that process.
Well, like Beth alluded to, this would be the biggest hangar we'd have at the airport by far. Everything we have is a third the size of this. But the asset is ours to hold. This will be an asset for us. It will not be a special build. It will be a hangar that we will be able to put larger corporate jets. If Shield AI doesn't stay after 7 years, hopefully they stay for 30, who cares? But we have the ability to use this asset, and there is a need, there's a demand for hangars this size. Obviously, being able to expand to the east side of the airport, we've done a pretty good job developing the west side, and now it's mostly full. So I know that causes Ed some consternation because the utilities and things on the east side is not where we want it or need it to be. So that requires some real hand-wringing for Ed, but he's doing a good job at that, so he keeps us out of trouble. But it is important to develop. I mean, we need to we have this asset in this community, and we need to be able to develop that asset, and this is part of that. And a lot of times communities build it and hope they come. In this case, we already have a tenant, so we're building it, and then we have a tenant to put in it. So it's not going to be just a spec hangar and hope that somebody else can go market it. We've actually got somebody that's already made a pretty significant capital investment in the airport. Their capital investment is significantly higher than what they had initially anticipated, And so we like that. We like the fact that they're already here and they've got skin in the game. So, of course, I would stand for any questions, but we could talk for hours about the airport. You know how I am. But anyway, and I'd like to shout out to Jeff Lewis, my operations manager. He is very instrumental in all of this. He had first contact, and can't stipulate enough how important that is when people show up just randomly at the airport and say, hey, what do you got? Show us. And he was there that day.
You decided to take some time off, and he dealt with it and dealt with it grandly.
Exactly. And I think that is probably one of the biggest reasons they're here in Newton now.
I was just going to ask you, you said Ed's doing a good job. Is it the hand wringing that he's doing a good job at?
Or
is
neck
it the
wringing, or quit
details?
saying stuff like that, or for God's sakes,
You said
don't
he's
do that.
hand wringing. I thought, was he doing a good job at that? Thank you.
So do you need us to approve this?
No formal action, just an information update, and look forward to seeing it at a future agenda, more information.
Okay.
All righty. Well, that concludes the regular agenda. Next item would be the Citizens Forum. Maggie Snow?
Good evening. My name is Maggie Snow. I live at 1 Sherman Court here in Newton. I am a certified information privacy professional and a project management professional who has worked in the software as a service industry for 15 years. That experience has taught me that technology platforms involving sensitive information require clear governance, documented controls, accountability, and public trust before they are placed into operation. Flock is not just a collection of cameras. It is a database that captures vehicle images, plate data, location, timestamps, and searchable vehicle characteristics such as bumper stickers. In many ways, the database presents a more significant concern than the field cameras themselves. The first public notice given about the Flock camera installation indicated 4 cameras had already been installed. I searched City Commission agendas and meeting records, and after finding no public discussion of the project, I submitted a Kansas Open Records Act request on July 20th. I appreciate the city clerk's prompt response to my request. Of the 13 categories I requested, the city has responded to 2, and the clerk has advised me that additional time is needed to identify and review other responsive records, and she will contact me when that is complete. I recognize that any additional records may answer some of my questions. However, based on the records that I have tonight, public documentation does not demonstrate that a complete governance framework was in place before the system was activated. The city announced that it had stated safeguards in place, including auditing of system access. However, the policy I received does not have or identify a formal audit process, explain who reviews the activity, how often those reviews occur, or describes what happens when improper access is identified. That becomes especially concerning when we look at the timeline. The city's contract with Flock Safety was signed May 19, 2026. It created a 6-figure, 36-month commitment, but automatically renews for 3-year terms and permits an unlimited number of authorized users to access the database. By the time the program became the subject of public discussion, July 13th, 4 cameras had been installed and were, quote, functional but not accessible, according to the announcement. The automated license plate reader policy provided in response to my request is dated July 14th of 2026. That date appears to be after the contract was signed and possibly after the cameras began collecting data. That sequence raises a basic governance question. Was a complete policy governing the use and limits of the system in place before they were activated, or was the policy developed after the city had already committed to and activated the technology? The records available tonight did not show when the City Commission was briefed, who approved deployment, whether a privacy impact assessment or legal analysis were done, whether safeguards were completed and in place before collection began. The public should know who can search the system, what authorization is required, and how searches must be connected to documented law enforcement purposes. The policy should also explain access and how it is approved, reviewed, and removed. The public should also know whether Newton's Flock data can be accessed by Harvey County, neighboring departments, state or federal agencies, or other users within the broader Flock network. Meaningful audit access, not simply an audit log, must be implemented and should identify who reviews activity, how often it recurs, how suspicious activity is investigated, and what consequences follow. Audit should be paired with preventative controls that limit the misuse before it can occur. I am therefore asking the City Commission to take 3 steps. First, provide a public presentation explaining who approved the program, when the cameras became operational, what review occurred before activation, and what safeguards are currently in place. Second, publish the complete policy history, approval records, audit procedures, retention rules, access standards, and data sharing agreements. Require every search to be tied to a documented law enforcement purpose and establish regular audits with findings reported to the commission. Third, require the commission to review the program before it is expanded, before additional agencies are granted access, before new cameras are purchased, or before contract renewals. These requests are not intended to interfere with legitimate law enforcement work. They are intended to ensure that a powerful surveillance tool is governed in a way that protects civil liberties, supports accountability, and earns public trust. The question before us is not whether we trust individual officers. Good governance should never depend on blind trust. It should depend on written rules, limited access, meaningful audits, public reporting, and elected oversight. Newton can and should support effective policing without creating unchecked surveillance. I am asking the commission to ensure that it does.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you bringing all your experience and your statistics, your knowledge of all of this. This is definitely something that I have struggled with myself as far as the process of, not that I'm against the flood cameras, just the process that we take to get there. And so I did mention this at our last agenda meeting, that I felt like we need to look at policies and maybe review them and see if those things need to be changed. I think a lot of policies can happen during collaboration, so that, you know, when you are making it public, the public's coming forward, which I encourage people to continue to do that. I'm seeing more of it and I love it. And I would like to see that momentum continue. I think that policies can happen during those discussions as well, because once we know the community's concerns and what their thoughts are, we maybe can build policies from that as well to kind of build the trust and make it's not about the trusting in the law enforcement. It's not, you're right. I agree with that, because I do trust our law enforcement. It's about transparency and the policies.
Exactly. Access to the database would be my bigger concern, especially given how it was rolled out. I do have additional questions, so I am waiting to receive the other documents that I requested. I do have a one-pager, if that would be helpful, summing up the actions that I'm asking the City Commission to take and the status of where things are at the moment. I would be happy to leave that for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All righty. Next person on our brain cramp, our citizens forum, is Beth. Come on down.
Good evening again. I just wanted to invite you, the commissioners, the staff, the community, to an event on August 12th at the Meridian Center. GAF, the large shingle manufacturer that is building out there, if you haven't driven out, go check it out. It's pretty impressive. They're hosting an ice cream social for the community. So it's an opportunity for you to come and ask questions, find out where they are at the development process, hiring, just anything that you might want to know, truck traffic, rail traffic, things. There will be a brief presentation at the beginning, but the idea of the evening is to be a casual, informal, just a time to get together and then find out more about them. And just to entice you even more, they'll be having ice cream from the Salted Creamery, some pies from the barn, and then the Meridian Center has a cool new dirty soda machine. So come out as the community and enjoy some time together and learn more about GAF. Thanks.
And what's the time?
Time again?
Oh, it is from 6:30 to 8 on August 12th. 6:30. Yeah, and hopefully they'll post some stuff on social media and we can all share it. But for right now,
All right.
I'm spreading the word.
Well, we have
Thank you.
a meeting that day.
No, we have a meeting the 11th.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
There was a whole thing.
I was like, wait a minute, how's that going to work?
Awesome. All righty. We'll go around the horn. Vice Mayor? Anything?
I just appreciate these budget workshops. I tend to learn something every time we have these discussions. And the city workers, you guys, administration put in so much work and effort and time. And I know that sometimes we hear from citizens that administration makes too much money. And I try to reassure them that if you only knew how many hours in a day they actually work, you might see that in a different light, because your guys' job is very tedious, and we couldn't do ours without you, for sure.
Awesome. Sure.
No, sir.
No, sir.
I don't have anything, but I know Ed has some news, so if Ed would be willing to.
It's a boy.
No, I'm way too old for that. So I just wanted to share with you that we recently applied for and were successfully awarded the Safe Routes to School grant. This grant costs us nothing but some time. KDOT has a consultant that they're using. All we're doing is feeding them information, and then at the end they'll put together an action plan for us to look at crosswalks, school zones, anything that has to do with children getting to school. So we're pretty excited that we got this. It's been since 2008 since we've had a look at this, when we got our last Safe Routes to School grant. So we were successful again, and so we've already had the kickoff meeting and we're starting that process. So just wanted to share good news.
Congrats. Denise?
No, sir.
Jason?
A few weeks ago, somebody got really excited with a spray paint can and graffitied a whole bunch all along the bike path, under all the bridges, all over. And I was really annoyed. So I used the Newton City app, which we just learned is going to be retired, but we can still file a report. I took pictures, I filed reports, and last week, I didn't do anything else. I just filed a little report. And then I waited, and last week, Parks crew came out with a sandblasting machine and cleaned under every bridge, both sides, cleaned it all up, cleaned the sidewalks. And I wanted to give my little public service announcement that if you see a problem, don't call me or text me. Just fill out a report. To my friends out there listening, fill out a report and the city will take care of it. And Ed, if it's appropriate, tell them thank you. It looks really nice.
We are retiring our app.
We're switching to an all online. Aaron, do you have a comment on that? Or see, I'm bringing everybody in. If I got to be here, y'all got to be here. Fire tonight. We got media training. You need some media training? Here we go.
So yes, we announced today that we are retiring the Newton Connect mobile app, and that is part of a process of streamlining the way our workflows go within city departments. So now we will still be able to take the same type of reports to request services. It's all going to be a web-based process.
Oh, okay.
So if you go to our website, newtonkansas.com/report. If you bookmark that in your phone, web browser, you can still submit the same type of reports. Bulky item pickups, you can go to newtonkansas.com/bulky. This is a transfer to the same software system that we use for our code enforcement and public works workflows. So it's going to streamline the back end for us and also included a small cost savings for the city.
Awesome.
Okay.
I sure did like the app. It worked really cool.
You could still upload. Are you
Can you
still
still
going to be
add
able
a
to upload
photo?
on
Yes.
there? Okay.
Pin it? Good. Awesome. Kathy?
Just thank you to all of you who have been so helpful in all the preparations that you have done with our budget, not only today, the workshop, but in the workshops previous. And to come, thank you for all the work that you do to help us make those tough decisions. So we appreciate it. I appreciate it greatly.
I would kind of echo that. Thanks to staff responsiveness to all the questions from myself and my peers up here. I know we can come at you from all different points of view and aspects and everything, and you do the yeoman's work of getting that done and everything, so I just want to say thank you on that. With that, we do have a motion for an executive session, is that correct?
That's right. If we could just do, we don't anticipate any action after, but if we could go till about 8:10.
Awesome.
Okay.
You want to kick it off,
Want me
Kathy?
to read it? Okay. I move that the city commission recess into executive session to discuss a personnel matter. The justification for closing the meeting is to discuss matters involving non-elected personnel. Time and place at which the open meeting shall resume is 8:10 PM here in commission chambers.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are going into executive session. We would anticipate no action afterwards, and we have nothing else. If you guys want to hang around, you can, but there is no action afterwards.